There's a new bill in Congress that would block credit card companies and processors from using merchant codes to identify purchases made from firearms retailers. Let's talk about it. Hey Wolverines, a year and a half ago I reported on credit card processing companies that were going to start using merchant codes to identify sales at gun stores. At the time, some people on YouTube said they didn't believe it. And then it happened. But before we talk about that, you can help support the channel by checking out my locals or Patreon. I suggest locals. You can also subscribe, like, and comment. That is totally free and it really does help out the channel. Now let's get back to the story. A merchant code is something that is attached to every credit card purchase. It identifies what type of store goods were purchased from. For example, if you buy something at Walmart, it will be listed as general goods. If, God forbid, you buy something at Dick's Sporting Goods, it will be listed as sporting goods. Under pressure from the Biden administration, credit card processors were going to add a specific code for firearms retailers. This would have been a big problem. You see, freedom-loving Americans, we are all against firearms registries. In fact, it's illegal for the federal government to keep a non-NFA firearm registry. They do skirt this rule with the out-of-business office in Martinsburg, West Virginia, but they claim that's a database and not a registry, even though it's most definitely a registry. But that's a story for another time. Back to this story. Although the use of merchant code doesn't tell anyone what type of firearm someone purchased, it does say that they purchased a gun. To many, this is a backdoor registry of gun owners, and I would tend to agree. Plus, what is there to stop a bank or credit card company from rejecting charges made from any of the entities using a gun store merchant code? You see the issue here. And this isn't a far-fetched idea. Groups like Mom Demand Action, Everytown for Gun Safety, Giffords, Brady, and many other Michael Bloomberg-funded groups have pitched this same exact idea. And if you want to read something really interesting, look up Operation Choke Point. I'm thinking about doing a series on prior gun control efforts. If that's something that you would like to see, let me know down in the comments. That might be fun. Back to merchant codes. The use of merchant codes to identify gun purchases have caused an uproar in the community. Now, a few members of the House of Representatives have introduced a bill to put an end to the actions of the credit card and merchant companies. The bill was introduced by Republican Representative Riley Moore of West Virginia. It's backed by Representative Rich Hudson of North Carolina and Representative Andy Barr of Kentucky. It has a lot of support from advocates as well, including GOA, NSSF, and NRA. Enforcement would start 90 days after the bill's passing. What would happen is a retailer would file a complaint against a merchant code processor saying that they are requiring them to use a gun store merchant code. The AG would step in and give the processor 30 days to fix the problem. If they don't, they will be enjoined. Basically, they would have 30 days to voluntarily stop before they would be forced by the government to stop. At that point, you really want to stop, or are you going to face massive fines? A lot of states are trying to pass laws requiring gun stores to use these codes. This bill deals with that as well. All those laws would be preempted by federal law. Federal law is superior to state law, and no state law can outrank federal law, so those state laws will no longer be in effect. Now the million-dollar question, will this pass? I do think it has a good chance of making it through the House of Representatives. The Senate will be tougher because there is not a supermajority and you would need to flip 7 Dems to vote for the bill, and I just don't see that happening. But there's another way we can do it. We can attach it to much past legislation like the NDAA or a continuing resolution. I think the Dems would be willing to concede on this one, and I do believe President Trump would be willing to sign it. I just wish we had a better AG.